General Hospital bombshells. Rick's near-death confession rocks Alexis as Carly plots to destroy Nina. Tuesday's episode of General Hospital delivered explosive revelations and ruthless scheming. Alexis is blindsided when Rick drops a chilling truth bomb. He knows Kristina nearly killed him. While Alexis reels, Carly is already deep in a dangerous new plot, secretly moving to take down Nina in a shocking custody battle. Meanwhile, Nina remains completely in the dark as Carly's plan gains traction. Across town, Drew is left stunned by Willow's decision to travel to Germany, sparking tension and uncertainty. To top it all off, Carly unleashes her fury on Jason, holding nothing back in a fiery confrontation. With lies unraveling, secret agendas forming, and old wounds reopening, this episode sets the stage for major shakeups. Loyalty is tested and enemies are made in a day packed with betrayal, bombshells, and bold moves that no one saw coming. Don't miss what happens next. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. After watching these videos, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Alexis learns Rick knows Kristina almost killed him, and Carly plots against Nina. Tuesday, April 22, 2025. Today on General Hospital, Jason advises Willow visit Michael in Germany. Drew asks Kai for a favor, and Lucky talks Kristina down. Ava, in a new outfit and fur coat, surprises Rick in the hospital and announces, Ava Jerome is back. Ava calls up a car dealer and buys a new sports car on the fly. Rick tells her not to blow her money on lavish gifts. Ava says she hasn't forgotten him and surprises him with a limited edition Rolex to replace his watch that was damaged in the crash. He tells her no, the watch, the car, it all has to go back. Rick warns her that walking around with her wealth showing is going to tip people off, especially since everyone knows she's been struggling financially lately. She'll only send up red flags. She agrees to send everything back except the coat. Ava shuts the blinds to his room and tells Rick he's sexy when he gives financial advice. She notes that money is her aphrodisiac and crawls on top of him. He says blackmail is his, and they kiss as she lowers his bed back. Alexis won't budge. In Alexis and Diane's office, Alexis hasn't been sleeping well, and Diane notes she wouldn't either knowing her daughter was involved in an attempted murder. Diane feels that is why they need to revisit Kristina going to a psychiatric hospital. Alexis insists she can't commit her own daughter, as it will destroy her and Molly. Diane says they can commit Kristina and keep Molly in the dark, but Alexis says Molly will dig until she learns the truth. Alexis says they have to leave it alone and pray the truth stays buried. Diane says there is one problem, Rick. Diane says Rick or Elizabeth might recall something went wrong in the accident. She begs Alexis to take her advice. Alexis says she'll handle Rick and asks Diane to shred the commitment papers. Alexis walks out, and Diane puts the papers back in one of her folders instead of the shredder. Kristina wants to confess again. Kristina drops by Liz's place and tells Lucky she came by to check that Liz was okay. Lucky says she's taking a nap and is going to be fine. Kristina admits the guilt is eating her alive, and she can't live like this. She tells him that she's having nightmares every night, and she almost killed 2 people. Lucky assures her everyone is fine and will move on, but Kristina feels she can't move on. The only way to free herself is to confess. However, Kristina knows she'd lose her sister, her family would implode, and it would probably destroy her mother. Lucky tells her she made a terrible mistake she can't change, but she can learn from it. Make amends with her family, stop letting her emotions rule her, and let go of this vendetta against Ava. Kristina thanks Lucky for hearing her out. She's not going to confess, she's going to learn from this and let go of her vendetta. All she wants now is for Liz and Rick to get better, and for the people she loves not to be hurt. Trina feels guilty. At the bistro, Curtis and Trina grab coffee. and Curtis thought she might like someone to talk to about Kai and his surgery. Trina fears the surgery won't work, or worse, Kai could end up paralyzed. Trina knows he needs her support, but she doesn't know if she can do it. She feels he's making a mistake. Curtis understands she doesn't want to be dishonest with Kai, but sometimes their hands are tied. It seems she only has one choice: stand by Kai's side and support him no matter the outcome. Drew asks a favor of Kai. Kai stops by Drew's place and tells him that he wants to take him up on the offer to have the surgery. Drew is happy and offers to make the call to the doctor to get the ball rolling. Kai thanks Drew and says he's given him the best gift ever. He's giving him back hope. Drew makes a call to the doctor and says General Hospital will be receiving word of his arrival any minute now. Kai can't thank Drew enough. Drew says there is one thing he could do for him. He thinks Kai should document his story, calling it a hero's journey, something that will really touch people. Kai owes him, so he's in if Drew thinks it's a good idea. In the halls of the hospital, a nurse hands Portia some papers to sign off on. Portia sees they're hosting a world-renowned surgeon next week, but soon realizes it's the doctor who will perform Kai's surgery. Portia arrives at Drew's later and tells him she won't let Drew toy with Kai's life. This surgery is dangerous, and it won't happen. Drew states it is happening, and Kai is an ideal candidate. Portia tells him Kai isn't thinking rationally, and he could end up in a wheelchair. How will Drew feel if he did that to him? Drew would feel terrible, but Dr. Mohinder won't let anything happen to Kai. Portia tells him that every surgery has risks. She's a doctor, and he should listen to her. He reminds her that the only reason she's still a doctor is because of him. He questions why he's still keeping her secret, so maybe it's time for the world to find out the truth about her. They're interrupted by a knock at the door. It's Curtis. Curtis sees his wife and asks what Portia is doing here. Drew says they were just talking about him. Portia interjects that she came to speak with Drew about not supporting Kai's surgery, and Curtis says he is there for the same reason. Drew says the surgery is happening, so Curtis says they have to pray for Kai's sake that this doctor pulls off a miracle. Curtis tells Portia they are done here, and they storm out. Outside, Portia tells Curtis that maybe the surgery will work out, and maybe Drew does have good intentions. If so, perhaps they can move on from the fighting. Curtis says, not likely. Trina catches up with Kai in the park, and he says everything is set for the surgery, and it's next week. He calls the surgery a long shot, but it's all he needs. She admits she hasn't seen him smile like this since he was in his sweaty football uniform. Kai says the chance he could play in the ball in the fall is what is keeping him going. She promises to be in the stands cheering him on. Rick shocks Alexis. Alexis drops by to check on Rick at the hospital. Rick notes she seems a little nervous and asks if she's okay. Alexis says it's just been a busy day at work. He knows her and knows she only gets this stressed when it involves Kristina. Alexis insists she's fine and asks how he is. Rick tells her to drop it. She's not this dumb, and he knows her lunatic daughter tried to kill Ava, and he and Liz became the victims instead. Alexis realizes he is in on the blackmail scheme with Ava. Rick admits he is, and she can thank him for not turning Kristina into the cops. Rick yells that Kristina belongs in prison, and she can end this and come forward with the truth. However, that would kill Molly, but then again, Molly would be free of her awful, selfish sister. He says that for Molly to see Kristina for who she is, and that Alexis will always protect Kristina over her, is the best gift he could ever give Molly. Alexis notes they have a long, horrible history. Through it all, she thought he loved Molly. When he left Port Charles, she was the one who raised their daughter and gave her a loving family, including Kristina and Sam. So why would he purposely do something to hurt Molly and take away her family? She has given in to Ova's demands, so she begs him to please not expose Kristina. Rick says, since you begged so nicely. I always enjoy watching your smug, moral superiority crumble when it comes to Kristina. Rick tells her the blackmail isn't the best part. It's that she has to embezzle from a child. Carly turns on Nina. Nina barges into Carly's kitchen with news. A friend in DC has told her that Drew's looking for a good realtor there. Carly says they can't let this happen. Nina says, first things first, Carly's outburst at Willow and Drew did nothing but push them together. Carly is beginning to think that's what Nina wants. Carly wonders if Nina's plan all along is for her to be the one to attack Willow, and Nina swoops in to play the doting mother. Nina insists she wants Willow and Drew over, but she is in a delicate position. If she is too obvious about it, she'll risk losing Willow. She won't blow a relationship with her daughter over Drew. Carly gets it. Drew has cost them too much. Nina also says if Willow pulls away, she'll have no influence over her. She also thinks Carly is a much better spot to be a mouthpiece, and what she said to Willow and Drew was spot on. However, she didn't like Carly weaponizing Nell, so she doesn't want her to do that again. Carly says that's fair, but she's done waiting for the opportunity to appear. She will get Wiley and Amelia out of that house with or without her help. Nina notes that fighting with them only keeps them trapped in this romantic delusion that it's Willow and Drew against the world. Carly has to do something, and Nina asks her what she's going to do. Will she go to court to fight for custody of her grandchildren? No judge will give her more rights than their mother, and she and Michael will lose those kids for good. Carly points out that nothing will change until Michael comes home. Nina agrees, and the more room they give Willow and Drew, the more comfortable Drew gets. Drew will screw up, and she will be in Willow's ear about it when he does. She thinks if they stay the course, Michael and Willow will share 50-50 custody of their kids, and Drew will be out of the picture. Carly agrees they are on the same page, so Nina heads out. Once Nina is gone, Carly calls someone and says they need to talk. Diane arrives and wonders what fresh hell she's here about. Carly tells her it's about Michael and Willow's custody case. Carly wants to know if they can move forward with the case on Michael's behalf. Diane says they can't without Michael there, so Carly says she can move Michael back here. She's done waiting, and Drew could move everyone to DC at any moment. Carly wants to get a date on the calendar, and she wants to keep this quiet. She wants Drew, Willow, and Nina to think this hearing is far off in the future, and then for reality to blindside them. Jason advises Willow meets with Jason at the Quartermain mansion and begs for his help, calling him her last chance. She's feeling helpless, and he is the only person Carly will listen to. She pleads with him to tell Carly not to take her kids from her. Jason says Carly was right in what she said. Willow and Amelia mean everything to Michael, and Michael means everything to Carly. Willow gets that, but she and Drew will be together, and it's not fair that she puts her life on hold while waiting for Michael to get better. Jason tells her that he's not the one who can get her out of this mess, that she has to do that herself. He tells her that she needs to go to Germany, see Michael, and end this war once and for all. Jason argues that part of the mess they are in is because she and Michael stopped communicating, so they have to get on the same page. Willow doesn't know if Michael even wants to hear from her. Jason thinks he does, and someone has to make the first move, so it has to be her. On the next General Hospital, Laura warns someone that driving Sunny out could invite someone much worse to move in. Ezra meets with Tracy and asks if she's willing to put her money where her mouth is. Willow advises Nina. The simplest way to drive them apart is to tell her. Jason informs Carly that Willow's going to Germany to see Michael. Willow tells Drew there is one person left she needs to face. Today's next update. General Hospital Tuesday, April 22 recap. Nina in the dark on Carly's custody hearing plot. General Hospital recap for Tuesday, April 22. Reveal that Nina Reeves was in the dark on Carly Spencer's custody hearing plot, while Rick Lansing gloated to Alexis Davis. Here's how all the action played out in Tuesday's episode. At GH, Ava Jerome announced that she was back and was clearly flaunting her wealth with lots of major purchases. Rick explained why that was a bad idea, since Ava didn't need to raise any suspicions regarding the blackmail. After Rick gave Ava financial advice about having the money transferred to her account slowly, she got turned on and closed the blinds so they could have a hospital hookup. At the law office, Diane Miller once again pushed Alexis to have Kristina Corinthos Davis committed to a psychiatric facility, but Alexis refused and pushed her to shred the paperwork. Although Diane contemplated doing what Alexis asked, she ultimately stuck the papers into a nearby file. At Elizabeth Baldwin's place, Kristina stopped by while she was napping and told Lucky Spencer the only way to free herself was to confess. Kristina was having nightmares and wrestling with guilt, but Lucky helped talk her out of blowing everything up with her confession. However, Lucky was pleased when Kristina vowed to learn from her mistakes and let go of her Eva vendetta. Once Alexis paid Rick a visit, he taunted her over how terrible she looked and suggested his memories of the accident were starting to come back. Rick finally came clean about knowing Kristina targeted Ava and caused his crash with Elizabeth by mistake. Alexis made it clear that their truce was over, but she was relieved that Rick was going to stay quiet, even if he was being smug and annoying about it. Over coffee, Curtis Ashford spoke with Trina Robinson about Kai Taylor's risky surgery and helped her see that she had to find a way to stand by him. At Drew Kane's house, Kai offered updates on his decision to move ahead with the surgery. Drew offered to make a phone call to the surgeon and get the ball rolling on everything, so Kai was amazed over Drew's generosity. After Drew admitted there was something Kai could do for him in return, he mentioned knowing someone who made incredible documentaries. Drew wanted Kai to have his own hero's journey documented, so Kai eventually got on board. At the hospital, Portia Robinson found out Kay's specialist was on the schedule as a guest surgeon next week, so she headed over to Drew's place to confront him. Once Drew threatened to expose Portia's lab results tampering, Curtis showed up and joined Portia in complaining about Kay's imminent surgery. Outside, Portia tried make a prediction about moving past all the conflict soon, but Curtis didn't see that happening. Trina also met up with Kai and learned his surgery was confirmed for next week, so she remained on edge despite the brave face she put on. In Carly's kitchen, Nana scolded her over the waves she made at Drew's place and how she crossed the line with her Nell Benson comments. Nina wanted to get on the same page about their alliance, since Drew had been looking into real estate in Washington, D.C., which meant he could try to move Willow Corinthos at the kids there. Carly wanted Nina to do more on her end of this partnership, but she acted like they were still allies. Nina left under the assumption that Carly was in agreement on wanting a 50-50 custody split for Willow and Michael Corinthos. Later, Carly went behind Nina's back by summoning Diane for a meeting. After Carly insisted on moving forward with the custody hearing, she said she could handle getting Michael there. Diane warned that the hearing could still take some time, which Carly understood. That said, Carly hoped to keep things quiet and make Willow, Drew, and Nina think this custody hearing was some faraway thing. Then, the trio would be blindsided with the reality of it once they had their court date. At the Quartermain mansion, Willow turned to Jason Morgan for help dealing with all the custody chaos. Jason urged Willow to take action herself by visiting Michael at his clinic and ending the war in person. Today's next update. Drew reacts to Willow's Germany trip. Carly blasts Jason. General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, April 23, reveal that Carly Spencer will blast Jason Morgan, while Drew Kane reacts to Willow Corinthos' Germany trip. Tracy Quartermain will also have a proposal to make, so here's what GH fans can expect as the drama heats up. First, Laura Collins will sound the alarm about what could happen next when it comes to this whole situation with Sonny Corinthos. By driving Sonny out, Laura will argue that it could mean inviting someone much worse to make a play for his territory. It looks like Laura may offer that warning up to Ezra Boyle, who'll be busy interacting with plenty of key players on Wednesday's GH episode. At some point, Ezra will sit down for a meeting with Tracy, who'll make an intriguing pitch. Ezra will wonder if Tracy's willing to put her money where her mouth is, so Tracy could be poised to strike a lucrative deal. Over with Portia Robinson, she'll make predictions about Nina Reeves' best way to drive Drew and Willow apart. Nina could launch a romantic split if she comes clean to Willow about her past hookups with Drew, but that would mean risking her own relationship with Willow in the process. While Nina mulls over whether she can take her efforts that far, Jason will deliver some infuriating news to Carly. Once Jason admits Willow is going to Germany to see Michael Corinthos, Carly will fly into a rage over him sending her there. Although Jason thinks it's a good idea for Willow to meet with Michael in person and get on the same page, that's not what Carly has in mind. Instead, Carly is making preparations to blindside Willow, Drew, and Nina with a custody hearing that happens faster than they ever anticipated. Whether Carly tells Jason about her latest discussion with Diane Miller or not, she'll definitely face off with him on Wednesday's show. As for Willow, she'll tell Drew that there's still one person she needs to face. Willow will offer updates on her imminent trip to see Michael at the German clinic, but Drew's going to react in a way that catches her off guard. Although Willow thinks of Drew as someone who's supportive and understanding, will his reaction prove otherwise? Willow might get a glimpse of just how angry and manipulative Drew can be if he lets his mask slip for a moment. Whatever the case, Willow's Germany trip will move forward, but will Drew, Carly, or someone else do something to derail it? Other General Hospital spoilers say Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconieri will have some family issues to talk about, so this may be about Rocco Falconieri feeling stuck in his grandparents' drama.